Hey guys, we're 8 lines up on Daf Vav on Beis, starting with Rabbi Yossi, who in the Mishnah told us that both Eidim need to give Hasra to the person about to do an Aveira, because the pasuk says Shnaim Eidim Yakum Davar. Through 2 witnesses, something is upheld in court. So he says that means 2 witnesses need to give the Hasra. Ask the Gemara, Amar le Rav Papa li Abaye, Umi is le Rabbi Yossi Hai Svara. Could Rabbi Yossi really held to this Svara in the Mishnah? That's not. We learned Daf Test. Rabbi Yossi Omer Hasoni Nerag. If you get in a car crash and Chas Shalom, the person you hit dies, but he was your arch enemy, so you are killed. Why? It's like you were established as a damager, and it's like you already got Hasra. So if we didn't have to give you Hasra, hey, don't kill your arch enemy Ploni. Well, doesn't Rabbi Yossi over here at our Mishnah on Daf Hey, on Daf Vav, say that both Eidim need to give Hasra? Amar lehahu Rabbi Yossi bar Rabbi Yehuda. Answers the Gemara. That's Rabbi Yossi bar Rabbi Yehuda on Daf Tes. The Tanya, as we learn in the Brisa, Rabbi Yossi bar Rabbi Yehuda Omer, a chaver ein sarich hasra, a Talmud Chacham that knows halacha does not need hasra before they do an aveira. Levisha lo nidna hasra el lahavchin bein shogeg lemezid, because hasra was only ever given to distinguish a person what's a shogeg, what's an accident, and what's a mezid on purpose. So we only give hasra to somebody so we know for sure that they did this aveira on purpose. So for your first question, you're going to answer, what does Rabbi Yossi teach on Daf Tes? Okay, moving on. Davar Acher, said the Mishnah something else about Al Pi Shnaim Eidim. The drasha was Shlo Tehei Sanhedrin Shamas Mipiyat Torgamon, that the Sanhedrin cannot hear from the translator. They have to hear from the person, from the witness themselves, which is why they knew all 70 languages of the time. Says the Gemara, Hanhu le'uzei da'asel kamei de Rava. There were these foreign speakers that came in front of Rava. Uki Rava Torgamon Binayu, and Rava set up a Torgamon in front of them. Seems like a problem because our Mishnah, how did he do this? That's not. Our Mishnah says, Shalote Sanhedrin Shamas Bipiyat Torgamon, that the Sanhedrin cannot hear testimony from a translator. Answers the Gemara, it's very simple. Rava made a hava. Rava really knew the language. Yoda madahavu amri. He knew what they were saying. V'adurehu, and when he said back to them, delo hava yada, he did not know how to speak back to the witnesses, so he only knew the language as well enough to understand it, but not to speak it. And that's why he had the translators. So it doesn't go against our Mishnah. Top of Daf Zayin, Ila v'tovya krevi de arva. Ila and Tuvia are krovim to the Arev. Let's get it clear that Ila and Tuvia are Eidim on a loaning case. Let's say that Ruvain is going to owe Bill $10,000, and Ila and Tuvia are signing on the dotted line of the star. Yes, we were here at the time of the loan. Only problem is that Ila and Tuvia are actually krovim to the Arev, to the guarantor. Meaning that if Ruvain can't come to pay back Bill, then Ruvain's friend Bob will come back to pay back Bill. But if Ila and Tuvia are related to Bob, then we're going to see it's an issue. Havasava Rav Papa. Rav Papa thought to say that Gabe Lova Umalve Rechikin Ninhu, that because that Ila and Tuvia are Rechokim, they're not related to, who do we say? To Ruvain and Bill. So it shouldn't be an issue. It's only a problem if the Eidim are related to the Lova and to the Malva, to the borrower and to the lender. Amar le Rav Huna Bereda Rabbi Yoshua Rav Papa, Ilaslei Lelova, if there's not enough money for the borrower to pay back, Lav Basar Arva Azil Malva, isn't the lender going to go chasing after the Arev, the guarantor? So it's almost like the Arev becomes the borrower. And now if Ila and Tuvia are related to him, then it's like Ila and Tuvia, the Eidim, are related to the borrower in the case. And that's not okay. Number 2, why can't Ila and Tuvia be Eidim on the loan. Okay? Before we see the Mishnah, just a quick joke of the night as the report cards are coming out. So the question is, how do you get straight A's? You got to use your ruler. So, says the Mishnah, Mishnah Bardino, if there's a Gemar Din against Moshe, Ubarach, Moshe escapes that Beis Din. And 6 months later, Balifne Elosa Beis Din. He goes back to the exact same Beis Din, Ein Sosnes Dino. We don't reinvestigate Moshe's case. If he was a murderer and Chayav Misa before, then he's going to be Chayav Misa again. We're not going to look for any loopholes to save him. Second case, Kol Makam Shiyamdu Shnayim. If Reuben and Shimon, assumingly not related, are standing up, V'yomer Me'idim Anu Be'ish Ploni, we're being made on Moshe, Shenigmar Dino Be'Beis Din Shal Ploni. Moshe had a Gemar Din in Beis Din Ploni, and Ploni Edav. So-and-so and so-and-so were the Edom on the case. Hareza Yeharik. So Moshe is still killed. So it seems from the ratio of the Mishnah, if you're in the same Beis Din doesn't look into the case because they'll just open up their filing cabinet. Hey, we have the file. We checked into it already. Why should we look into it again? But the Seifa says, even if you go into another Beis Din, then Beis Din's still not going to look into the case. If you were guilty as charged the first time, you'd be guilty as charged the second time without looking into it. Next, the Mishnah says, Sanhedrin noages ba'aretz or b'chutz la'aretz. The Sanhedrin was accustomed to practice both in Eretz Yisrael and in Shmutz la'aretz as well. Sanhedrin ha'oreges echad b'shvua nikras chovlanis. According to the Tanna Kama, a Sanhedrin that kills once in a week is called very destructive. Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah omer echad l'shivim shana. If it's even once in 70 years, it's destructive. Rabbi Tarfon, Rabbi Akiva omrim ilu hayinu b'Sanhedrin. If we would have been on the Sanhedrin, lo ne'erag adam ba'olam, we would have never ever killed anybody, not one. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel omer, that's very nice, but afhin marbin shochi damim b'Yisrael. You guys are killing other people in Klal Yisrael because if you're not willing to kill a murderer, if he's really Chayav Misa, then other people won't see how serious murdering is, and they're going to go kill other innocent people. So you gotta sometimes make somebody the example to stop further bad things from happening. Says the Gemara, Lifnei also Beis Din hu de'ein sosrin, quoting our Mishnah. In front of this Beis Din that Moshe goes back to, quoting the Reisha, if he goes back to the same Beis Din that he was once chayiv in, we're not going to reinvestigate it. So the diuk is, Lifnei Beis Din acher sosrin. If Moshe would go into another Beis Din, then they would reinvestigate it. The only reason they wouldn't in the same Beis Din is because that they have the filing cabinet. They take out the file. We looked into this already. Why waste our time? But if Moshe went into another Beis Din, then they should look into it. Holivnei Beis Din acher. If he went to another Beis Din, sosrin. They would re-look into it. Only problem is, Hatani Seifa, we learned in the end of the Mishnah, Kol Makam Shiyamdu Shnayim, anytime that Reuven and Shimon get up, V'yomer Me'idin Anu Es Ish Ploni, and they are going to testify about Ish Ploni, Shenigmar Dina, but Beis Din Ploni, that Moshe got a Gemar Din in Beis Din Ploni, and Ploni, Edav, so-and-so and so-and-so were the Edom on the case. Ask them. It's true it happened. And the Din is over there, Hareza Nerag. We're still going to kill Moshe. Even if Reuven and Shimon go into another different Beis Din, they're still not going to look into it. And that's the kasha. So for your last question on your sheet, you're going to explain to me, what is the kasha? The diuk says blank, which contradicts the seifa that says blank. Okay, have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow.